Hey everyone, down here from the Tabo concept. It is here for just about here for some more row scale sandbox videos as well. I might be able to be spawning for some more trains as well, as where today we're gonna be listening for anything for its whistles like this thing. Because the first thing that we're just actually spawn like anything but before this. And because I just get rid of the trains in case of disconnections and probably lost connections that I might able to decide that we're using for such as one thing that I'm going to be using a train manager that we're just trying to delete all the trains like anything itself. So without further ado, it will be going to be next in few minutes time. So absolutely that I just seen from their locomotives that I just start from over here and all the way from about here in the end. So probably I hope you're gonna be enjoying for this video, and so that is gonna be releasing for this thing because absolutely I might gonna be spawning for some locomotives, and now we just gonna be making things for a little bit to do this as we're gonna be listening to the whistles of their steam engines and glorify this power as well as we put in ourselves into a good hands of trust. But looks like I have spawned so much trains for a little bit as well, and including such as multiple of those trains, but I just actually didn't eventually missing for this thing as well. So because as you can see the performance, it was extremely bad as hell. So as we spawn the locomotives as well for this very first locomotive, the 060 switcher, the NPR, or the Nickel Plate Road, Berkshire, the NPK, Berkshire 765, and I'm sure the NKP, Berkshire, is 765. I'm not sure the Nickel Plate Railroad was actually for some sort of an NKP. The Red Rail Atlantic VT Giona, the VT Modern Giona, the Pacific Electric Steam Engine, the Lima C7-3 Shay MRLC, the Union Pacific FEF-3 E-Light, with the Union Pacific Challenger for the Western Maryland 12 and the Hiawatha F7 Hudson engine. I never take for a little bit to see things what is going on after it was been for a little bit for those things as well. So nothing was actually for the Giona or the classic locomotives like these. So, and I eventually that we're going to be continuing to spawn locomotives before the train whistle test is going a little bit further as well. And let's just try to continue to spawn American locomotives for very a lot, because such as including streamlined engines, we will add it for any about of those things, including the Polar Express. I got this for many a lot of reasons. So I'll be putting for a round of those engines from over here. And things have just slightly that we're going to be added tenders very soon. So I hopefully that we're going to be continue to spawn locomotives such as for the daylight. I'm actually going to be spawning for the Southern Pacific GS4. And so I'm going to be putting for around for GS4s over here for just like Independence Day, and then I'm just going to be going for around here. And next one is going to be for about for GS4s from over here, and probably it's not going to be going for about for so well. And let's just add it for the Union Pacific big boy over here. So in case it was really that big, so I'm going to be going for around over here. So also we're going to be turning the train from over here. And you realize this is actually for the most popular, biggest train, whatever, we've never seen that before from that era of 1940s. Unlike the 1940s as well. So let's just get all the way down, and we're gonna be completely finishing spawning for some American locomotives as well. Because we're gonna be keep on coming, it is, as we're gonna be spawning right over here before it's not gonna be Nexus anyways. Because until later, I'll be right back after that we just completely already spawning some tenders before that, including for some sort of an engines and streamline engines. So be back in a minute, or every some sort of a lot of minutes as well. Fortunately, it was all against the bad news. So we will turn on for the DCC controller as we absolutely spawn for one locomotive for the Biloxi Island for just about here, but unfortunately I didn't name for anything about here as well. So we absolutely spawned for 060 Switcher, the NKP Berkshire 765 Red Rail Atlantic, and the Southern Pacific for this time as well, and a little bit for Southern Pacific for just gonna be remodeled as well. And because we don't need to spawn any tenders, it was. So we're gonna be really to do this as we're starting from this locomotive for 440 all the way to the Southern Pacific GS4. So let's start with the number 11, and sounds pretty as anyways to do so. As we're hearing this in 3, 2, 1. This is the tier 1, or this is the tier 1 whistles. Let's hit it for the 5 whistles. Go! Because I'm not sure this isn't gonna be trying to listen again. Oh no, the video is probably ended, or the sound clip has just completely ended as well. So let's move on to the next one, and we're hearing this out. So this is probably a little bit good as well. It's just like not the same as for the Rosekill Central Railroad. The next one sounds even better, but looks like this is overwhelming, but it sounds like from actually video in the description as well. Oh yes, sounds like more than I like it. Whatever, it sounds like pretty good as well. It actually sounds pretty awesome, like whenever before. It was actually sound from that video source was actually from the year 2011 for one excursion. And another, the train number 2021 called the Red Rail Atlantic. It sounds like for one of its kind. For the 442, it sounds probably not actually this. Let's just sound like anything before. That sounds pretty for some sort of a video source or something. And another one was actually sounds like pretty good for sounding. But next one, this sound comes from for the Southern Pacific GS4. Let's hear this whistle like anyways. Let's about to hear this. And it's loud as well. Probably that was ridiculously loud as we possibly indeed did, as we're all tier 1 trains are completed. So let's hear the train manager. Let's go into the lead like anything as well. And we're going to be respawning for some sort of a locomotives. Up next, we're going to be spawning for a tier 2 locomotives. Is going to be next. Alright, we're ready for tier 2 trains. Sound like us whistle. As anyways, this is not possible to do this. So, but first off, I might gotta get rid of this smart train removing for this thing as well. So we might be able to respawn that later as well. So we did not include that kind of shay as well, as we looked for some sort of a locomotive as possible as well. So after this, we just completely spawned USRA 2-10 or the USRA 210-2CW Light Mikado Paramaquate, Union Pacific, Union Western, Nickel Plate Road, Baltimore and Ohio, and Southern Railway, except for the Lima C7-3. So we're now hear the whistles because I'm better warning you, because if you just try to turn the volume down, you might hear for ridiculous loudness and soundness of the locomotives. So here we go for the test. In 3, 2, 1, let's start for the CW. Could you hear this again? But unfortunately that cuts slightly like anything that before. Alright, that was pretty good as well, because even that says never mind, it wasn't gonna be probably working for about this. Next one is actually Paramaquate 1011. So we're hearing for this whistle and see what it does, and ridiculously loud as well. In 3, 2, 1, let's hear this. That was pretty obviously good, but less beautiful that we just absolutely remembered. But next locomotive, it should be like this. And the next locomotive is the Union Pacific locomotive for this thing from those old trains. As we're hearing for this extremely loud locomotive noises, as be prepared, it wasn't sound like a high-pitched Polar Express. And now we're hearing for this out, and here we go, as we just about for the speaking of which, it was absolutely beautiful as sounds as well. So, am I gonna be giving ourselves a go, and say all aboard America. In 3, 2, 1, get screamed. Wait. Oh, there it is! That was pretty sounds like. Obviously beautiful. Let's just hear this again in 3, 2, 1. Scream! That was probably alongside of just greatness of probably to do this. Another request is going to be a locomotive like itself. Union Western locomotive. It's time to sound from its absolutely for one thing. Because previous locomotive, it sounds so great and pretty awesome. And let's just hear this another whistle from Union Western. In 3, 2, 1, hear this out. Whoa, that was pretty loud as hell. So let's just try to hear that again. That was exactly like some sort of pre-enemies, or like the German whistles like itself. This is a single chime was actually possible, because this whistle isn't gonna be worth it as possible, because that isn't probably ridiculous. But now the Nickel Plate Road is more ridiculous than ever. So, as you hear this for another whistle for this time as well, because that whistle was very awesome, but not more just like the Polar Express. It was ridiculous. And the next one is Baltimore and Ohio, because previously that sounds even pretty good, or most likely almost perfect like those whistles as well. So we're gonna be hearing that for the Baltimore and Ohio whistle, like sound like this. In 3, 2, 1, hear this out. Wait. Oh, wait. Let's just gotta be hearing this again, right? Oh yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit falling for just like I guess. So let's hear one more time. Pretty good as well. And we're actually moving another one, was actually this thing as well. But almost like, and I forgot that isn't gonna be sing for such sort of Union Western as well. So This is actually for the Southern Railway. Wait a second. This is the Southern 4501. I think it is. This is the Southern 4501. It was actually like the name because it eventually retires and never to be able to be seen again. Unless 4501 is probably back, but probably not in service like this thing as well, or just as absolutely still existed. So let's hear the whistle from this great wild sound in 3, 2, 1. Let's hear this, shall we? Unless we're gonna be hearing this again for this real time anyways. And that was all like the tier 2 whistles like this, anything itself. But up next of this video, this isn't going to be part of to do so as well. So, coming next in this video, we're going to be hearing for some whistles like anything as well. So, be back in the next video as well already. So, thanks for watching, as we're going to be see you in another part from their steam locomotives like for all. And that it should be able to do this as well. So this is gonna be Turbo Concept is signing off, and also the game is in description below. And I'll talk to you rail fans all later as anyways.